Hello again. Welcome to another Let's Play informational video for Rift, the new MMO that just came out from Tryon. I wanted to go over, a few people were asking about some of the PvE rewards, mostly concerning some of the raid or some of the higher end rewards you get from instances and raids. I did some research on this because obviously I'm still low level. Honestly, I couldn't find a whole lot of information, in particular about raids. I will go over what I found out. Again, keep in mind I wasn't able to find a lot of solid information. I obviously do not have first-hand information. I will give you what I found. Again, I apologize for anything that's incorrect. Anything that I'm able to correct, I'll try to put either in the video or in the comments below the video, just to make sure that information is relatively accurate. First of all, to go over the dungeons in the game, there are 10 dungeons or instances in the game. Just to go over the level ranges real quick, there's the Realm of the Fae. It's 16 through 17. That's in Silverwood. There's Iron Tomb. It's 18 through 19. That's in Free March. Darkening Deeps. That's 22 through 23. That's in Gloamwood. Deep Strike Mines. That's 25 through 26. That's in Stonefield. The Foul Cascade. 29 through 30. That's in the Scarlet Gorge. King's Breach. That's 34 through 35. That's in Scarwood Reach. Runic Descent. 39 through 40. That's in the Moonshade Highlands. Fall of Lantern Hook. That's 43 through 44. That's in the Droughtlands. Abyssal Precipice. That's 49 through 50 in Iron Pine. And Charmer's Caldera. That's 49 through 50 in Shimmersand. And by the way, I'm getting this list from a developer, so I would hope that these are accurate. Now, Rift offers a heroic mode, or they call them expert modes in Rift, but basically it's equivalent to basically heroic in WoW, but we'll call them expert because that's what Rift calls them. Now there's tier 1 and there's tier 2. Certain dungeons are tier 1 and certain dungeons are tier 2, so you don't have basically tier 1 Realm of the Fae and then tier 2 Realm of the Fae. It's just some dungeons are tier 1, some are tier 2. The tier 1 expert dungeons are Realm of the Fae, Iron Tomb, the Foul Cascade, King's Breach, and Fall of Lantern Hook. The tier 2 dungeons are Darkening Deeps, Deep Strike Mines, Runic Descent, Abyssal Precipice, and Charmer's Caldera. Now, my understanding is pretty much you will need to gear up in the tier 1 dungeons to be able to stand a chance in the tier 2 dungeons. Now, from my reading, you will get what's called Plaque of Achievement,
seconds to purchase,
from the expert dungeons. And you can basically just, the group leader, when you're forming the group, you can't do well, first off, you can't do the expert dungeons until level 50, which is the max level for Rift. The group leader will basically say, we want to do the expert mode of the dungeon before you go in. Once you complete the dungeon, you will get the Plaques of Achievement. Now, I don't know how many you'll get. I don't know if you just get one per run. I don't know if you can do multiple runs a day. Again, I was not able to find the information. It's probably out there. My Google skills may be failing me. Honestly, I just got tired of looking, and I'm not feeling that great today anyway, so that probably didn't help. But at any rate, I wasn't able to find that information. But I do know you get them from doing expert level dungeons.
Until next time.
And like the PvP gear, you come into your city to. It's a currency, just like the Valor Marks goes into your currency tab. You come for the Defiance, you come into the Qatari Command Center to buy them. The PvP vendors on the left side, the relic vendors, as they call them, are on the right side. You have your minor relics, your major relics, and your elder relics. Now, your minor relics is where I'll start.
Feel free to browse.
The first items are pretty cheap. You have a minor catalyst, which is a crafting ingredient. I'm assuming it's just to craft some of the better crafting items. The first items are blue items. Actually, they cost 20 plaques of achievement. They are all weapons, and I'll just read off the stats for one of the items, just to give you a rough idea. Again, I'm obviously not going to read the stats off of every single item. But there's a two-handed sword. It's 28.2 damage per second, 67 to 125 damage every 3.4 seconds, strength 29, dexterity 22, endurance 19, attack power 8, hit 40. It's calling warrior only, and obviously it requires level 50. Obviously all of this is level 50 because you have to be level 50 to get the plaque in the first place, and that's what it looks like. And again, mostly this is just to show you the looks, because obviously that's the most important thing. Who cares about the stats? There's the regular one-handed sword, mace, a staff, and again, I will go over the chest pieces just to kind of give you a comparison of the stats. I will run down the stats of the chest pieces for comparison purposes. I don't know if I'm going to read them all because there are a lot. I'll just read them until I get bored, quite frankly. The chain. This is kind of a weird chain chest piece, but whatever. It's armor 597, intelligence 14, wisdom 23, endurance 12, spell power 9, spell crit 12. It's warrior and cleric. And can't stop doing that. The minor relics chain pieces, again, just for comparison purposes with the items I'm going to show you later, cost 40 plaques, and you can see the different items cost different. Boots are 20, gloves are 20, helms are 30, pants are 40, that's shoulders are 30. So again, depending on how many of these you can run, how many you can get per run, I'm not sure how long it's going to take you to get a full set, but again, my understanding is you'll need to do several tier 1 runs to even stand a chance at tier 2. Anyway, let's go ahead, and I want to show you the way these look. This is the Exponents gauntlets. There's actually several pieces. It's like a full set. That looks pretty neat. And I stripped down naked in town just to show you guys just how much I'm willing to go. Look like a total fool. A sexy total fool. Blessed Iron Hauberk. Again, I want to read the stats on this. Again, it's a chain chest. Armor 597, intelligence 11, wisdom 15, endurance 22, parry 14, toughness 34, calling warrior cleric. Again, I'm not sure who that would be for. I'm not that familiar with the classes outside of my own. I'm not going to bother trying to analyze it. I don't know enough about the game. I'm sure if this is the class, if you play these types of classes, you can figure it out for yourself. I'm not going to try to analyze that deep into a game I'm not that familiar with. But that is the Blessed Iron. I'm sorry, no, that's the... Was that the Exponent? No, that was the Blessed Iron Hauberk, I believe. Pay attention. Yep, that was the Blessed Iron. Okay, sorry. I'm caught up. Alright, let's move on to the Occultist robes. Obviously, these are cloth. Armor 197, intelligence 22, wisdom 14, endurance 12, spell power 10, critical hit 12. I think this is the only cloth set, so makes it pretty easy to guess who that's for. I kind of like this. It's a little weird looking. However, with a name like Occultist, I'd say it's pretty fitting. It's a little bizarro with the mask and the kind of finny type headset. I think it's kind of cool looking. As far as the stats go, as far as I'm aware, I think it's pretty fitting. I would like the endurance to be higher, just as a Dominator. I just like high endurance just because of the ability with Dominators. Dominators have an ability where, not to get into it too deep, but Dominators have an ability where you can polymorph something, turning into a squirrel, and it can take damage based on a percentage of your total hit points. So the more hit points you have, the more damage it can take. So that's, the more hit points you have, the better. But anyway, this is the Ravagers set. This is leather. The chest is 492 armor, strength 14, dexterity 21, endurance 14, and attack power 12. That's a pretty neat looking set. I like the look of that. Interesting shark fin looking helmet. Skirmishers Brigandine. Let me go ahead and put the look up first so you can get a look at that while I'm... Actually, that's the exact same look as the other one. Armor 492, strength 14, dexterity 16, endurance 21, parry 12, toughness 34. Foe Slayer set. This is plate. Oh, I'm missing a helm. There we go. Armor 894, strength 21, dexterity 14, endurance 15, attack power 8, physical crit 13. And that's warrior only, obviously, since they're the only ones who can wear plate. It's pretty neat looking. That's an interesting looking helm. And the last set is the Stone Shell set. And is it? Did they? Yeah, there it is. I almost said I almost didn't see the helmet for the. Does the? Actually, it doesn't look like the Foe Slayer has a. Foe Slayer doesn't appear to have a helmet. Yeah, it does not. Foe Slayer doesn't have a helmet. I don't know if that was an oversight or what, but yeah, it looks like the Foe Slayer set does not have a helmet. But at any rate. The Stone Shell set plate, or the the Stone Shell chest item, armor 894, strength 16, dexterity 12, endurance 21, block 29, toughness 34. I'd say that's probably going to be the tanking set. Is the Stone Shell. I mean, just from the name and the stats, I think that's probably pretty obviously the tanking
later.
set. Now let's go with the major relics. Now,
your coin
this is a little
always
different.
Welcome.
This requires more plaques. The chess pieces here cost 100 as opposed to 50, and each of these items also cost an item called glyph whatever. For example, the boots cost glyph boots. The gloves cost glyph gloves, as in addition to Plaque of Achievement. I couldn't find any references to the glyph items, so I don't know 100% for sure where these items come from. I'm assuming, again, I could be wrong. I'm assuming, you know what happens when you assume and all that fun stuff. But I'm assuming they drop from the tier 2 dungeons, maybe. Maybe they drop off the bosses randomly. Maybe they drop off raid bosses. I don't know. But, you know, my assumption again is they drop off out of the tier 2 dungeons. But you might be able to look online and find that information. If you know, post in the comments of the video. I'd appreciate it. Just so I can update the video and just put it just so people will know. But again, I was not able to find the information when I looked. But anyway, let's go over the stats of the chest items again. Tagged's Driven set. It's chain. It's armor 765, intelligence 17, wisdom 29, endurance 20, spell power 13. It's warrior and cleric. Elena's Seraphic boots. And actually, you'll notice I looked at these beforehand. All of these look quite similar. In fact, pretty much exactly the same. Let's see. Stats: Armor 765, Intelligence 17, Wisdom 29, Endurance 18, Spell Power 14. Backs Stalwart set. And again, looks the same. Armor 765, Intelligence 17, Wisdom 17, Endurance 30, Block 34, Toughness 50. Now that's a chain set. I don't know who is a chain tank. Again, I'm not familiar with really other classes, so whoever the chain tank is, that's probably their set. Now this is Galenite Studious set. Galenite is, if you're not aware, Galenite is a Scott Hartzman. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Wow, that is an interesting, very interesting looking set. Actually, I don't know quite how I feel about that, but definitely very interesting. I think that's going to be a pretty polarizing set. I think you're going to either love or hate that. Anyway, the stats. Armor 253, Intelligence 29, Wisdom 20, Endurance 15, Spell Power 14. This will be Evelina's I can't talk tonight. Evelina's Extenter. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm sure that's an incredibly easy to pronounce word, but tonight I'm just not having it. Jerkin. Anyway, armor 632, strength 17, dexterity 27, endurance 21, attack power 14. I kind of like that. It's leather, but it looks kind of metallic. Kind of dig that. Kind of like that look. Depth's Shadow Meld set. Looks the same. Let's see. Kind of don't like how, I mean, as far as I can tell, maybe I'm missing something, but I really don't like how there's not even color differences. They could have at least, I think, went a little bit different colors. Maybe they might update that with future patches or something like that. Because I know, again, bringing up WoW comparisons, but WoW's done that in the past where sets look pretty much exactly the same, and then later on they did release a patch to make the graphics look a little different. Anyway, stats. Armor 632, Strength 16, Dexterity 17, Endurance 30, Dodge 18, Toughness 50. Slinthos's Savage set. Interesting look. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about the color or the helm. It's a plate set. Armor 1146, Strength 19, Dexterity 16, Endurance 29, Block 35, Toughness 50. Again, that's obviously Warrior. And the final set, Fenrix's Sinister set. Again, looks the same. Chest piece is Armor 1146, Strength 27, Dexterity 20, Endurance 15, Physical Crit 33. This is apparently the DPS plate set. This one has a helm, so it looks like the DPS plate helm is missing from
Let us trade again someday.
The minor relics. I'm assuming that's an oversight. They probably just missed it. So finally we're at the Elder
buy
Relic.
and sell.
Now, I noticed here they don't require the glyphed helm, glyphed boots, whatever. They simply require a lot more plaques. The breastplates here cost 200. Remember, the minors cost 50. Excuse me. The majors cost 100. And here they cost 200 for a breastplate. So about twice what they cost for the majors. But again, they don't require the glyphs. So, I mean, at a glance, again, going based off the assumptions I had made that the glyph items come from the tier 2 raids, maybe this is giving you the option that, well, if you are not raids, but I'm sorry, tier 2 dungeons, maybe this is saying, well, if you can't get to the level that you can do the tier 2 dungeons, you could eventually save up and get the top end gear. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're doing. Heck, I don't know. Or they're just saying that, well, once you're doing the tier 2 dungeons over and over and over and over again, you have something to save it for. Again, I don't really know. Anyway, here's what the stuff looks like. This is the Exemplars set. And the Exemplars chain. Armor 656, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 25, Endurance 16, Spell Power 12. Warrior and Cleric. Looks pretty interesting. Anointed Iron set. Looks the same. Chest piece is Armor 656, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 18, Endurance 24, Block 29, Toughness 50. Thaumaturge's boots. I hope I'm saying that right. I've seen that word so many times over the years, and I'm totally not even sure if that's even close to saying it right. Cloth, Armor 217, Intelligence 25, Wisdom 14, Endurance 16, Spell Power 12. Looks a lot like the other cloth armor whose name I just forgot. Yeah, sorry folks. I apologize. I'm just not feeling with it today. Been borderline having a migraine all day. Like, I can't decide if it wants to go ahead and give me one, or if like, well, make him think we're going to give him a migraine, but maybe not. Anyway, enough belly aching about it. Let's see. Breastplate, leather breastplate, armor 541, strength 17, dexterity 24, endurance 15, attack power 9, physical crit 14. And that's the Marauders set. Auxilia's set. Again, looks the same. Leather armor 541, strength 13, dexterity 17, endurance 25, dodge 15, toughness 50. Still got that shark fin helm. Hopefully they mix up some of these sets, because really the top tier, which if this is the top tier, again I don't really know. I didn't get enough information. But if this is the top tier, really shouldn't look the same as, you know, the tier 1 stuff, with just very slight coloration changes, if even that. The plate chest, armor 982, strength 25, dexterity 16, endurance 14, attack power 10, physical crit 13. Again, that's probably just the DPS set. Plate DPS set, that is. And the stone carapace. And finally, the plate breastplate stats: armor 982, strength 15, dexterity 15, endurance 25, parry 14, toughness 50. Well, there you have it. That's what that's what all the items look like. Also noticed there was no other
always a pleasure.
Weapons, shields, no ranged items other than what we found over here. That was a little disappointing.
Quality.
Not really quite sure what's up with that. Don't know why they didn't really spread that out a little bit. Endurance 20. I'm just kind of comparing. Endurance 21, 894.
Looking for something?
So there's only a 4 endurance difference between the low end and the high end. There was about 100 and something difference on armor, but doesn't seem like a lot. You know, maybe it is at the high end. Again, it's really hard to tell without seeing it in action. but off the cuff doesn't seem like a lot. But again, until you really get there, it's hard to say, you know, oh, that's not enough of a difference. Now, okay, so I went back and read a little bit more about the raids. I found a video that better explains, in developers' own words, a little bit more about the raids. Even it's not super in-depth about how to start them and what they're about, but I figure it's better to let them do it than to have me butcher it. But in a nutshell, what I gathered is that there is going to be 10-man rifts and 20-man instance raids. Now there might be a combination later on, like 10-man instances and 20-man rifts, but at any rate, that was my interpretation of the video. I'll link the video right now. In the video, you can just click the link and it will take you to the video. It's about 20 minutes long. He takes you through one of the Rift events and through one of the first instances, the 20-man instances. Now, the Rift event is called, I think he called it like an expert event. It's basically like a step above a regular Rift event. It's basically like a raid, but it's more complicated. The actual fights are more complicated. It's not tank and spank. There's a boss with a bunch of ads that do things like, for example, there's a boss where you have to, who's invulnerable until you kill these 3 pillars. So I'm imagining it's not going to start off super complicated. They want to teach people who are new to MMOs or new to raiding how to raid first. That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And also, of course, the developers want to learn the tools, whatever. But at any rate, that's the way it's going to start. Also, with the 10-man Rift raids, or expert raids, or whatever they're calling them, or expert rifts, is that other people can actually join in. So you can technically actually have more than 10. However, they can't grief your rift and steal the loot. And they will also get minor rewards, like they'll get Plenarite and maybe some minor stuff, but they can't like swoop in and take your loot or kill steal or whatever. So even if other people jump in, your raid, your 10-man raid, will still get the loot. As far as the 20-man instances, it's basically just like MMOs of the past, EverQuest, WoW, whatever. You go through the dungeon, you kill bosses, you kill trash, you get loot, you fight bosses, you get purples, you get epic items. And there's tiers of dungeons. Higher tiers give better gear. Right now, from my understanding, there's only one tier, the layer green scale. I think there's a dragon called Green Scale. There's several boss fights in there, I guess. That's the only 20-man instance, I believe, so far. That's tier 1. They said there's a tier 2, I believe, that's coming soon. I think they said within the first 2 months. But they said there's plenty of raid stuff available now. So, and they said there's more to come soon. But at any rate, I wanted to show you how to start the raid rifts, or at least my understanding of how to start them. First off, to do the raid rifts, the 10-man raid rifts, you had to buy planar lures. I want to show you at least where to buy the planar lures. I'm in the manufactory. Again, this is all from the perspective of the Defiant. Obviously, I'm in Meridian, but in the manufactory, you just hang a left. And there are the different factions over here. There's, I believe, 6 different factions, each for the different elements of rifts, the water, life, death, whatnot. And I think you only need one person to get high enough faction. For example, this is the Mercurial.
Seconds
from
to purchase.
what I can tell, these are the water guys. But you look for, there's something called Husk, and you can read the description here. It says, use, infuse with 5 malformed souls to create a lure for the expert rift No, I'm sorry. So it's not professional, expert. The expert Rift event, Revenge of the Ice Watch, requires level 50, and you have to be decorated with this faction. So I'm assuming you'll have different people in the guild working on different factions, so you can do the different types of rifts. You know, again, death, life, water, whatever. And then they will take the malformed souls. I believe those come from the tier 1 and or the tier 2 dungeons. Again, someone, if they're sure where those come from, the tier 1 or the tier 2 events, I'm sorry, the tier 1 or tier 2 dungeons, they can mention it in the YouTube comments. I'd appreciate it, and I can correct that in the video. But I know you collect those from either one of those, and basically you combine 5 of the souls from the dungeons with this at a tear, at a raid tear. There's raid specific tears, I believe. And then once you do that, your 10-man group starts the raid. And it's obviously longer than your typical rift. It's not, you know, a 5-minute raid and you're done. From watching the video, again, I would highly suggest watching that video if you're interested. But from watching it, it's probably going to be a 30-minute to 45, maybe an hour long event. Until next time, as you learn the fights and go through it. So keep that in mind, but that's just the basic run through of raids, some of the higher level gear. If you have any questions, suggestions, let me know in the comments. Sorry I couldn't be more specific. I gave you the information that I could find. If you've got more specific information, please make sure to put it in the comments so other people can learn, and I will post them in the video. Again, thanks for watching.